And welcome back to STL TV Live. I'm Tim Lampley. Joining me in the studio now are Gavin Culbertson and Rachel Hatfield of Empowerment Arts. Now you have a lot of things coming up, and these folks have a film to tell us about. But first, let's talk about Empowerment Arts and what does that entail?
Well, Empowerment Arts is a new nonprofit organization here in St. Louis with the goal of creating productions for different minority groups, marginalized groups. And the idea is that we'll create productions that will then have a cultural and social influence. So end product result would be, for right now we're working on a feature film, and that would have distribution through educators and schools, as well as reaching out to a mass audience in general film production distribution.
And I understand you're working on this particular project with other alumni from universities here in the area, or a particular university.
Yes, this is very much a St. Louis production. We wanted to, the film that we're working on now, the story takes place in St. Louis, and it will be shot here. And we're also gathering together crew members from, many of them from Webster University, and the film production program that we both came from as well.
Okay, so now tell us about this film and what is it about?
Well, it's actually based on true events. Gavin came across this person and they told the story, and he decided it needed to come out. So it's...
What was the story?
Well, the story that came to me, again, it's based on true events about an immigrant who came to St. Louis and comes from an abusive past because his mother perceived him as gay, which at the time was not accepted at all, especially in Latin culture. And eventually they have to kind of get rid of him, and they send him to finish his schooling in the States, where he's away from the family. And so he has to kind of grow up on his own, learning English, and as an immigrant, and then also with troubles from his past.
And this doesn't take place in 2012. It takes place earlier, right?
Yes, this was several years ago.
Okay, because you said it wasn't accepted at the time.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so what he does is he learns things here through taking karate, and becomes a karate champion.
Builds up his confidence.
Mm-hmm. And then also goes back to his home country and learns that things have changed there too. And then he brings that all together back to St. Louis and kind of changes his perception.
Now I understand you're going to be shooting outside of the area as well, and as you said, involving several other students, but shooting somewhere else.
Oh, yeah, tell them what we're about to do.
Yeah, we're about to film in Colombia, South America. We're going to be filming an annual Pride Parade they have there, which is paralleling what's happening with the character in the story, like the progression that's happened since he was a kid there. So it's going to be really cool, 3 weeks in Colombia.
Now, in terms of, what does it mean when you say nonprofit for this particular project? Does that mean that you're financing this through grants?
Right now, we've done a lot of financing through individual donations at this point, but that would be a future prospect, reaching out through grants and other organizations and foundations in the area and nationwide. But the organization has a specific mission. We're reaching out to different people, again, marginalized groups specifically. So with this film, we have this one we're trying to do, and then later on, we'd like other groups of people to come to us because we feel that that's a type of film. Films of that type have trouble getting produced in the mainstream market.
So that is what you're trying to do. When you say what you're trying to do, I was going to ask you what your goal is, but you're saying basically you'd like to influence other people to be able to make, to go out and try and make their own films as well.
Yes, especially for different ethnic groups, different groups of people and cultures to be shown in a mass media market. And again, another thing I noticed in St. Louis is there's a lot of talent here. I used to work at Talent Plus, one of the premier talent agencies, and it was my first job out of Webster. And they were doing a lot of things, and I saw a lot of talent, but there's not too many productions coming through here, so I think this is a good thing for St. Louis to have.
And why do you think that is?
Well, it's a mission-based film that can be produced through a nonprofit, and if other production companies can see, oh, well, they're making films here in St. Louis, they have a lot of talent, I think that could then draw in a lot more work for production people.
So hopefully this will spark off a lot of interest in a lot of people here, and they'll pay attention to this, and and that we'll have a lot of filmmakers here in this area. That is the hope. Guys, thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it. Very good job. Very good job.
Thank you.
I want to thank Gavin and Rachel for being with us today. We need to take a break, and don't go anywhere. There's more to come. We'll be right back. Remember to keep up with us here at STL TV and all the great events going on around St. Louis. Friend us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And you can always watch us streaming live on stltv.net. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back.